there, and let's take a look at these recent wind gusts. We've mentioned the issues at the airport. 55 miles an hour, that Phoenix number coming from Sky Harbor. 44 miles an hour in Chandler Mesa Gateway, 36 miles an hour. Buckeye, 39 miles an hour. I also wanted to show you, April was talking about some of the gusty outflows and some of the dust. You can actually see this one. It almost looks like a rope. Look at that thing as it sags to the south of Maricopa. And yeah, you know, we've had so much rain and thunderstorm activity around. Sometimes the dust part of this gets lost in the shuffle. But and we know the deal with these things. If that runs into another outflow, that could create its own storms. We had so many outflows this morning, it was kind of hard to keep track of where they were all going. So that's kind of interesting to see that. And then I know, Paul, you have some rainfall totals. Allow me just to draw a picture, okay, before you get to those totals. This is sort of what the heavier rainfall has looked like. So this is what's already on the ground, estimated by the radar. And you know what's funny, Paul, is about half an hour ago, the blue was sort of north of Phoenix. Look at that. It's now starting to collapse into Phoenix. And some of these areas in blue, I'm just going to click on an area right there.
Wow.
You know, estimated 2 inches, 1 inch.
That is incredible.
And even when we don't get up to an inch, if you get that in a short amount of time, with the way the roads and the soil handles moisture around here, it can be a big problem.
Well, that is an incredible outlook, and boy, we keep running into all the rainfall totals. April, I mean, are we having even more warnings?
We got a third warning now for severe thunderstorm warning, and not surprising when you look at the radar picture of the valley. This is very heavy rain and some very strong storms moving through. So here's the rain. Those are the flash flood warnings again. Everywhere they're highlighted in red. It's pretty much the entire valley at risk for flash flooding. We've got flash flooding happening right now, but the severe thunderstorm warnings happening. So we've had the two for the West Valley and for Central Phoenix. The warning that was just issued, it's right here. I've highlighted it there. It's a severe thunderstorm warning now for Gilbert, Mesa, Scottsdale, and Tempe. That just issued moments ago. This continues until 2:15. So what we've got out there in the East Valley, let's zoom in and take a look at some of these storms in the East Valley. Let me just take the warnings off there so we can see a little bit better. We've got the very heavy rain now beginning to move in. This, you can see this line of kind of red there over communities like Tempe down through Ahwatukee. That's pushing now to the east, northeast. So Scottsdale, Mesa, Tempe, you're going to get hit next by some of those strong winds and some of that very heavy rain. We've got that heavy rain still coming down along the 51 and the 17. And I think the heaviest rain of all right now, it's in the far West Valley. It's off west of the 303. But again, as we've seen, areas that have been getting upwards of 2 inches of rain. And look at this on the south end of town. We're still seeing more of these thunderstorms popping up right there. Let me just put the lightning back on. I was just telling you guys there. We've got all of this lightning around town. I just got an alert from my child's high school saying they're sheltering in place because my kids go to an outdoor high school where they don't want them to move from classroom to classroom there. Yeah. And I appreciate that. This is a lot of lightning, guys.
This is amazing, April. And it's been a long time since we've seen the radar this active. And folks, pretty amazing. You mentioned what's happening at the airport currently. We're going to take you a live look outside of our storm commander. And earlier when we showed you this shot, you could see just how dark and ominous those clouds were. We started to see those storms develop early this morning around 8 a.m. And we were out towards the Sun City Surprise area. And boy, that's where the rainfall just continued to accumulate. Update at the airport, if we could take it to my computer here, the touchscreen computer, just seriously, about a half hour ago, we were about 1/10 of an inch of rain at the airport. This is the unofficial total precip at Sky Harbor. Now we're over a ½ inch. And with that cell parked over the top of us, we could make up for the deficit of rainfall that we've seen so far for the season, which we normally average at around 2 inches. We're already about 1 inch for the season. This is another ½ inch added on top of that. So pretty amazing. And then you look at the temperatures, okay? We went from 89 degrees for a high today, and that was where we were at 11:17 this morning. The temperature has dropped now all the way down to 68 degrees outside. Wow. That is amazing. All right, a quick look at some of the rainfall totals. Pretty lucky to have the flood control district and all these gauges around the valley. You can see Phoenix area getting close to 1 inch of rainfall there. Just north of us, right near the station, right along I-17 in Bethany Home, over 1 inch, 1.3 inches in that area. And all along I-17, Gina, man, there are a lot of rain gauges with over 1 inch of rainfall, and it's a similar situation along the 51.
Yeah. actually all over. You know what, Paul? Look at this camera here. So this is the Loop 101 in the East Valley. Is that fog? I mean, it looks like people are driving in the clouds, literally. Is it fog?
Incredible.
Is it mist? What do you think?
We had outflows. We had some dust warnings as well. So, yeah, I just think it's some heavy rainfall out there.
Well, let me kind of give you a round-robin look at some different cameras here. So that's the 101 in Chandler at Ray Road there, and you can see just how terrible the driving conditions are. From there, let me take you to, just as Paul was saying, the 51 in North Phoenix. That's the camera at Greenway, and you can see the visibility is incredibly hampered here in this area, and folks are driving really slowly because of these conditions. From there, we take you to the 202 in Priest. This is the 202 Red Mountain Freeway. So this is going to be up by the zoo, and not only do you see how dreary it is from a rain standpoint, but I don't know, you know what, guys, I'm a traffic expert. From a weather standpoint, is this fog, or is that just heavy rain that's causing that, hampering that visibility, do you think?
Yeah, well, we're cooling down so quick. We got so much moisture in the air that we could see some low-lying clouds around the area. I think it's just some heavy rainfall really hampering the visibility for a lot of drivers.
All right, well, let me continue my tour here.
There we go.
Let me take you back to the I-10 and 40th Street. And one thing that we were seeing here on the, do you see the on-ramp here? If you look real closely, the cars that are getting on the freeway here, do you see how they're kind of moving to the left? There's ponding on the side of the freeway over there. It's kind of tough to see unless somebody drives through it, and obviously people are being smart and not driving through it. But that's one of my biggest concerns on the freeway. When the rain comes down this fast and it tends to pond, we have some really low-lying areas on our freeways where it can tend to pond. So as we take a look at the maps, this is a traffic map with a radar over it, but let me take the radar off because you can see we have terrible conditions. All the color changes here, yellow, orange, red. Look at the red all around the downtown Phoenix area. So red indicates, from a traffic standpoint, average speeds below 25 miles an hour, and all around downtown, that's what we're seeing. Orange is up to about 40 miles an hour, and then yellow is from 40 to 55 miles an hour. And you can see from the north part of town, the 101 from Glendale all the way across to Scottsdale, the entire stretch from the 101 all the way down to the I-10, the 17 and the 51. Look at that. And then all around downtown, the East Valley as well, the 60, the 202, the 101 in and out of Scottsdale, all the way down to Chandler. At this point, there's so few freeways that are immune. But as we toss it back to the weather department, let me go back through some of these cameras. Again, there's the 202 in North Tempe. That is the 51 there in North Phoenix at Greenway, and then the 101 in the East Valley at Chandler Boulevard.
Wow. Thank you, Gina, for that update. It's just a mess everywhere, East, West Valley. We've got numerous power outages. Some of the severe thunderstorm warnings that we had in the area had potentially winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Pete, you found a wind, an anemometer gauge there that
55.
55.
Sky Harbor, yeah.
And I believe we're still seeing a ground stoppage there, so that's a pretty powerful cell. An update at Sky Harbor. We could make up for the total amount of rainfall for the monsoon. We are now at 0.94
wow.
at the airport. Isn't that nuts in one day? And it all started raining at the airport within the past hour and a half, but numerous pictures all across the valley showing definitely some cars stalled out and some roadway issues. I'm not sure where this is. It looks like that's an on-ramp trying to get on there. This is the 202 in Scottsdale Road, just an ugly, ugly situation. It's a good idea. If you can stay home, and we've been telling everybody this, and just kind of wait for the storms to pass on by, it's probably a very, very good idea. And we'll wait for things to calm down. But boy, just a bit of a mess there around parts of the valley. April, can we get an update from you in the radar? What do you think?
Yeah, well, we just got another severe thunderstorm warning. This one's a little bit outside. I know. This is a little bit outside the valley. This was for the Apache Lake area. I was just looking at this, and hopefully people saw our first alert weather day issued, and hopefully people aren't out on the lake today. but the storm's moving right toward that area. So this is about 12 miles northwest of Superior, moving to the northeast at 10 miles per hour. Right now it's in a pretty, again, rural area there, but you can see the heavy rain there moving through. Let me take you back over to the rest of the valley and just show you the heavy rain. It's pretty widespread right now across the valley. Just about everywhere is getting hit with that heavy rain. All of these areas here in red, those are flash flood warnings, and we've actually just had a new one issued as well. There was one little corner of the valley in the southwest part of town that was not included, and now they are, because you can see some of the heaviest rain has just moved through. So this is going to be surprise over through communities like Avondale and Goodyear. A flash flood warning is in effect there until 3:45. So we also have these other areas here. Let's just go through a couple of these flash flood warnings because they're important. It's a dangerous situation. We already have had enough rain to prompt flash flooding, and you can see more heavy rain coming through. So let's highlight that area right there. That's going to be Avondale, Glendale, Peoria, and Surprise until 2:30 under a flash flood warning. Again, a watch means flooding is possible. A warning means it's happening, and it's happening. We've got this flash flood warning for Cave Creek, Carefree, Paradise Valley, and Scottsdale until 2:30, and you can see that heavy rain still coming down to the northeast of there, Fountain Hills and Rio Verde. You are also under a flash flood warning, and then we've got this kind of bigger area here that includes Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, and Phoenix until 4 p.m. So, okay, we're taking it to, is this a car stuck in the water? I-17 and the split. Gina, can you tell us where this is?
Yeah, so the split is over by 24th Street. So that's, where the I-17 and the I-10, they come together in two different spots all around downtown. So one area they come together is at 27th Avenue. But then this is over by South Phoenix. The split, just to give you kind of a reference point, is 24th Street-ish, right there by the Sky Harbor exit. So the ramp that we're looking at there, oh, wow. Do you see how that is the transition ramp from, if I'm not mistaken, it is from the I-17 trying to get out of South Phoenix and going to the I-10. Look at how the water is completely ponding there in the area. And we saw a car that looked like it was stuck there. So, yeah, the split is going to be at the I-17 and the I-10. And, we were just talking about the ground stop. That's how quickly the water fell in the area here. And so, again, you've got a car stuck. You've got people who aren't going anywhere. Oh, my gosh. Look at how.
There is a car stuck there.
Yeah. And what would you guys say? Is that water maybe like probably 3 feet?
Yeah, probably about
3 feet?
1.5 feet to 2 feet, probably.
It's almost up to the window.
Yeah.
It's almost
up to the hood there.
Yeah, it's almost covering the hood. So again, that's going to be the transition ramp from the 17 to the I-10. Again, that split transition is going to be real close to 24th Street, just for your reference. So
I'm looking at the rain gauge right now, Gina, right near that area. Within 1 hour time frame, they had 1.2 inches just dump right there. So a lot of the storm drains probably can't keep up with all that water that's just flowing right there into that area. And you noticed there was an emergency vehicle. The fire department was there. I'm not sure if someone's still in that vehicle, but the fire department showing up. I'm not sure if that person needs some help, but that is a situation. You heard it from Gina. A place definitely to avoid, and it looks like they were backing vehicles out of there.
And guys, if I could, you know what, Jake, can you take remote 31 and let me just show you a little different perspective. There is the flooding right there at that, just to give you.
That's a road?
That's the transition
ramp. Looks like a wash
ramp.
now.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
So as you're coming out of South Phoenix and you're going to transition to the I-10 and you're heading up towards downtown, so up towards Sky Harbor, that is where that is. And oh gosh, yet another accident. There's so many out there on the roadway that I don't even have time to list them all. There's so many. And a lot of people are just sliding around on the roadways. And then what happens is so here at the split, we see that incredible example of the ponding there, but there are much, much smaller ponds around throughout the freeway, flooding spots where, of course, it doesn't take a lot, especially if you're going at freeway speeds, to really throw your car into a tizzy and spin it out. So, gosh, guys, terrible driving conditions.
I cannot believe this. It's been a long time since we had this crazy amount of rain.
Look what's happening. Look in the middle of your screen. See the trees? Okay, look at the trees. Now look just beyond that. That's the ramp, and people are realizing, oh, we're not going to be able to go down this ramp. And now everyone is turning around, going the opposite direction on that ramp to get off of the ramp altogether so that they can transition out of there, and what they're going to do is they're going to end up on the I-10 eastbound instead of the I-10 westbound. But basically, I bet you DPS is there, and they're guiding them to basically go the wrong way up the ramp so they can get out of there. And that's why, because they're not going to get through that transition ramp between the I-17 and the I-10.
What a mess. What a mess. There are places along the 51 with close to 1.5 inches of rain. It just updated with the flood control district numbers. This is a live look from our storm commander cruising around, showing how slow that traffic. And this is Storm Commander turning around and going on the ramp. So Storm Commander was in that area.
And they got stuck.
Can you believe that? They were one of the folks to ask to turn around and to get back on the interstate.
That was going to be my assignment earlier. I would have been right there. So, yeah.
That is pretty crazy.
And there's DPS helping those people who are stuck on the ramp.
Yeah, you can see the lights.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're going back. They're going up the down.
Well, that's a trip they're going to remember.
This, Paul, is so interesting when you're showing those rainfall amounts. You know, normally we get 1 inch here or there.
Yes.
But so this blue,
there you go.
I'm not sure if my computer's up or not. This blue represents where we've at least had 1 inch of rain as represented by a radar. And I mean, it's everywhere. It's up to 51. It's across most of the 10 and the 17. I mean, these are very heavily traveled roads here, covered in that blue, which represents those amounts, which are at least 1 inch, which is what you're looking
crazy.
at. I mean, that's a huge swath, especially for just a big populated area. And it's on all our major roads.
Well, and it includes the airport, okay?
Yes.
Let me give you an airport update with the rain.
Yep.
We are now 1.09 inches at the airport, ladies and gentlemen. What? This is within the last hour with that heavy rain in that area.
Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah, no
but you know
worries.
what? Can we go, Jay, can you go to remote 34? I want you to see what's going on here in Tempe. This is the US 60 and the Loop 101. If we can take that ADOT camera, we have got exactly,
boy.
34.
Okay.
You don't have remote 34. You know what? Can you go to the traffic computer? Let's do that, because I've got it up on the traffic computer. There you go. So that's the 101 right where it meets the US 60. Yeah, and we've got standing water on the freeway. And remember, they've got pretty decent drainage systems on the freeway, but when it just comes down so quickly at such a great rate, it can't drain. And so now we've got this situation. Now, thankfully, the freeway isn't completely closed. It's just the right lanes that have standing water in it. But this is a nightmare for the freeway, where you have people driving at certain speeds, and then they have to come to a complete halt because of the standing water on the road.
Gina, this is, I feel bad for everybody trying to get around town here this afternoon. But we also, seeing some problems on the roads. We got some problems at Sky Harbor, where I showed you the rainfall totals there. Over 1 inch of rain has fallen in there. We've had a ground stoppage. We've got one of our viewers that called in. His name is John. And John, are you with us here this afternoon?
Yep, I can hear you.
Hey, John, tell us the situation at the airport. Are you stranded there?
Actually, we're just loading back on the plane. We're set to go off to Denver at 11 o'clock. Everything looked great. And then a storm hit pretty much faster than I've ever seen one.
Well,
and we had ground stops because of lightning.
Wow. Well, tell us the conditions there right now.
Right now, they're pretty good. About 20 minutes ago, visibility was about 50 yards.
Amazing, amazing. Have they told you that your trip will be just delayed a little bit, or is it canceled?
Actually, it's delayed. They're putting us back on the plane. Southwest Airlines was great, kept the plane cool. We were on there for about 2 hours. After about 2 hours, they told us to get off, grab some food, and they call us back, and they just called us back.
All right. Well, you're lucky enough to be at the world's friendliest airport there at Sky Harbor. Thank you, John, for that update, and give everybody an update of what's taking place at Sky Harbor. It's pretty incredible. They have had over 1 inch of rainfall within the past hour, and temperatures have gone down. We went from temps in the upper 80s, and now we had 89 degrees at 11 this morning, and now we've dropped down to 67. John, thank you so much for that report. And boy, it has been a big, big mess out there, Pete. April's heading out. She put in her nice 10 hours today. Royal is putting on the microphone. He's going to go look at the radar conditions.
And I think we may have Sarah Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Who's joining us live. Sarah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here at Sky Harbor Airport. We are in the airport line trying to get up into the third terminal to show you guys a live look. But I do want to just show you, we've been in this line for probably about 15 minutes, I would say, and we are just crawling along. You can see the water is still very much on the road here. We have seen people turn on their hazards. Of course, airport lines are kind of always hit or miss, but in this weather, it is definitely a miss. This is kind of a nightmare. And of course, there's still that ground stop. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see this, but I'm trying to show you with my phone some of the flooding that we are seeing on this road to get into the pickup and drop off area. It doesn't look like it's enough to really cause major damage, but you can see people really trying to take it slow and easy. Oh, there's a Waymo up there that's stuck, and it doesn't look like it knows exactly what to do in this situation. So there's definitely a lot of water here. I know you guys were mentioning that it's about over an inch of rain. We can definitely tell that here. Jake is taking it really slow, driving through this really large flooded area here on the road. We're approaching this Waymo. I'm not sure if you can see it on my phone, but I'll show you. It is just stuck in this flood water. Oh no, is there anyone in there? Okay, good. It doesn't look like there's anybody in there who is stuck, but oh gosh, this is a interesting situation here at the airport. So we just made it out of that puddle, and then we should be arriving to the terminal soon. But I was able to take a look on the runway. We do not see any planes on the runway at this point in time. Oh, there is one, but it looks like it's kind of just stuck there for now. So once we see some start to take off, we can be sure to let you know. But yeah, things not looking too great at the airport as well. Oh, if you can see this car trying to make it through that puddle over there. Yeah, not the best. If you can't avoid it, another Waymo that is stuck. There we go. If you can avoid this area, that would definitely be for the best. Of course, if you're already at the airport, hopefully things get back on board soon, but definitely a lot of flooding here. Guys, I will send it back to you. That's what we're seeing for now.
There was a storm back in the day, it was probably about 7 years ago, and Roy will remember this, where we had so much rain at the airport, the manhole covers were blowing up. It was the craziest thing with all that rain, but boy, if you can delay traveling right now, Gina, it is a mess just about everywhere across the valley.
Take a look at, and you know what, Jake, can we take the, yeah, there we go, traffic computer, the US 60 and Stapley. Look at the visibility here. And, you know, you guys have been tracking these storms as they move, and I've been trying to keep up with you guys, trying to switch the ADOT cameras depending on where that rain is falling at the greatest rate. So that is the US 60 and Stapley. From there, let me take you to the 101 and Indian School in the East Valley. So this is the roadway in and out of Scottsdale, and you can also see the visibility is inhibited in this area as well. From there, I want to take you back to the I-17 I-10 split, and you can see here. Do you see that ramp there? DPS, they've got that completely blocked off because the ramp is flooded. There's like 2 to 3 feet of standing water in the area. You know what? It's funny, guys. Our friends at ADOT will often listen to us as we're live on the air, and look. Do you see how they've moved the camera? I don't know if they've done that for us. I like to think that they take good care of us. They do. But look at that standing water there on that transition ramp. Again, that's the I-17 split. So, and there's a car stuck in it. I wonder if this guy thought, oh, I can do this. No problem. I'll get through here. Oh. But then they get deeper and deeper, and all of a sudden they realize we are in 3 feet of water, right? Okay, real quickly before I send it back to you guys, let me also take you back to the Loop 101 where it meets the US 60. And if you look at the right lane right there, there is standing water that is on the roadway there as well. But before I send it back to you, let me bring you back to the split because I think that's the one spot, guys, where I've seen the most accumulation of water so far. Man,
well, I know ADOT's been working on some of the older pumps. We've done a story with our Monsoon special with some of the pumps that were built back in the 70s, and you know they just weren't keeping up with some of the heavy rain that we had out there. So I've seen a lot of improvements, especially along I-17, those areas like Peoria exit, also the under part of Cactus, and things have definitely improved there. Let's talk about some power outages. Pete mentioned it. We had wind gusts up to 55 miles per hour at the airport, causing numerous power outages across the valley. And now Our good buddy Derek Stahl is hanging with us in the newsroom to give us an update on that. What do you have for us, Derek?
Well, on that front, Paul, it's actually gotten a lot better in the last 30 seconds or so. I was just doing some math. We had about 5,600 people out, no power, between Maricopa County and Pinal County like 2 minutes ago. They just got power back to about 2,000 people in Maricopa County. So we got 2,800 customers right now are out, don't have power. Most of them are on the SRP side. So let's look at the outage map here on the SRP side. There's a big one here in West Phoenix in kind of the Encanto area. As I zoom in, you can see it's purple. The lightning bolt with a purple icon means it is a serious power outage. There are about 1,229 folks out of power. That's over near 43rd Avenue and Thomas roundabout. Cause of that is still under investigation, and that's kind of the consensus here on all of these outages. They don't really know yet, but it looks like these are all weather related. Then let's talk about the East Valley a little bit. There's a moderate one in Mesa. 415 people are out of power near Dobson and University Drive, it looks like. Farther east in Mesa, over by the 202, just north of the 60. This is an area near Power Road and Hawes Road. 700 people are out of power. They lost power. Looks like they should get it back maybe in the next 40 minutes. That's what they're estimating. The outage started around 12:40 this afternoon. And then out there, way out there in Gold Canyon. Hello to our friends in Gold Canyon. This is an area near Mountain View, east to about the Highway 60 or so. They have about 1,000 people, 911 people without power, and they're hoping to get the power restored in about 30 minutes. So crews are very much out there working hard. They're trying to get this power outage, all of these things restored as soon as possible. But looking at the map, it looks like all of these instances popped up around 12:30, 12:45 when we had some really strong storms rolling through. Let's glance here at the APS side for our folks who are APS customers. It's not quite as bad. Let's look here if they have an outage. Yeah, like 39 customers, 24 customers, 34 customers. So APS is doing a little bit better for some reason than SRP right now. Let's switch gears, though, and talk about the airport situation, because as we know, there's a ground stop. It's in effect until 2:30 this afternoon at least, according to the latest from the FAA. And you can see this is the aerial view. Normally, you got planes flying around, you got planes taking off, you got planes landing, and there is nothing happening. All the planes are on the ground there on the runway. And then on the left side of the screen, right under the photo of Sky Harbor Airport, you can see the average delay time and the average delay for arrivals. It's huge. 2-hour delay right now for arrivals. 2.5-hour delay, 173 minutes for departures. So it's a disruption index of 5 out of 5. It doesn't get any worse than that. So a lot of misery right now for our folks at the airport. I'm looking at Sarah Robinson's shot. Looks like she just got into the airport. She's parking right now. So she should have a live shot for us very soon of what it looks like at the airport. But that's the very latest here in the newsroom, guys, in terms of the outages and the impact on Sky Harbor. I'll send it back to you.
Oh, all right. I was going to wait for Paul, but I'll just start in. Paul, how you doing? You guys have been, thank you for all the help today. It's been an amazing day of rain coverage. Yeah, it is nuts. I was just trying to look up the history just to see if, by the way, you can see if you guys want to take KPHO number 1, we're up to 1.11 inches of rain at the airport. Trying to figure out if that's the most rain that we've had at Sky Harbor in a day this year. It may well be. Yeah, it's
KPHO1, guys. KPHO1.
KPHO1.
He's got a graphic here that shows rainfall totals.
Yeah.
And I know that's pretty crazy. Okay, it says that's what we're on here, Royal.
Well, let's check and see.
But we'll get a look. Look at that radar that you're seeing right now. This is a warning that went out earlier today. That's until 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're finding that other computer here. But man, the lightning associated with some of these storms and the heavy rain now passing through the West Valley. Surprise was slammed today. I feel really bad. I did a live shot with these folks. It put so much time and effort, 2 months of building this harvest festival out in Surprise and Sun City. They said, if we get heavy rain, it's going to be a muddy mess out here for the opening night. Well, it happened. And here's what we got from Storm Commander out there. Man, a messy situation with some of the roads out here. Gina mentioned there are a lot of areas. We have underpass right where the I-10, I believe, meets with the 17. Is that right? Where they've shut down some of the exits in that area because of all the heavy rain. This one looks like we're turning here. This is somewhere in the East Valley. But look at the dark, ominous clouds out there, Pete. It's just incredible.
Just water everywhere.
Man.
Water everywhere.
Okay, we've gone from 89 degrees, dropping down to 67 at the airport, and Royal mentioned it. We had over an inch of rainfall at the airport, and he's looking up the history right now. We're just trying to get his graphic situation all figured out. But Gina, you got a traffic update for us?
I do.
Of course, I can't believe how terrible it is on the roads right now.
Let me show you this 4-box here. With our technology here at Arizona's Family, we can literally look at 4 different ADOT cameras all at the same time. So the top boxes, I've got those dialed in because we've got standing water on the freeway. So the top left side, that is the 101 where it meets the US 60. You know what's crazy about the desert is, so we had 2 or 3 right lanes that had standing water, and already it's starting to recede, and it looks like just the one right lane, we still have standing water there. Now the top right side, I don't know that's going to recede anytime soon. So this is what Paul was referring to. This is the I-17, I-10 split. So this is going to be the transition that's over close to 24th Street, right by the airport. So as you come out of South Phoenix and you try to transition to the I-10 westbound, so out of South Phoenix, heading up towards the 51 and the 202, up towards the Sky Harbor exit, that ramp, do you see the standing water there? There's about 2 to 3 feet of water, and it's tough to see, but the tree that's on the right side, there's a car right behind that tree that is, underwater there. And we saw earlier the water level was almost all the way up to the windshield. Now look at the bottom left box here, Paul. That is the 202 Red Mountain Freeway in North Mesa.
What?
At Gilbert Road. Look at the visibility.
You can't see.
You cannot see anything. And then just a little bit south of there, what a difference, right? So almost due south, there's the 60 in Mesa Drive. It's still raining, but nothing like it is in North Mesa right now.
Gina, this is a day here, the 26th of September. We're going to remember this one. This will definitely be a part of the monsoon special. We still have, 4 or 5 days left until the end of the month where the monsoon ends. But Royal's got some numbers here for you. And look at the airport. We just made up. We were at 0.9 going into today.
Isn't that amazing? And as April was just saying before she left, the rainfall graph on that, if at some point, folks, later today, you want to go to the National Weather Service Phoenix page, it goes from 0.18 of an inch of rain to over an inch in 15 minutes.
What?
Is that amazing?
That's crazy.
Took 15 minutes to get a little under an inch of rain at Sky Harbor. So as you say, Paul, we're 3 days out. We've got probably some more rain expected tomorrow. We could actually have an above average monsoon.
Wow.
That would be amazing.
That is pretty incredible. Thank you, Royal.
So I'm going to show you a couple more numbers. Is that okay?
Please do. Let's see the radar, too, when we get a chance.
Oh, absolutely. Radar's next. But
Look at this, Royal.
Yes, Payastoa Peak, 1.5 inches. South Mountain, 1.5 inches.
What?
Sun City, 1.25 inches. Mesa, 1.25 inches. I-17 Union Hills, 1.25 inches. I-17 Camelback, over an inch. It's crazy. And those are as of 30 minutes ago, so we're going to update those as well. Now, here's the radar for you.
Okay,
Here's
here
what
we go.
Everyone's first alert Doppler radar, and we're going to start off with checking out the watches that we have. And this is the important, really one that got added on, the severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for all of Metro Phoenix, but much of, we'll call it central and even Yavapai counties in this, and southeast Arizona under that severe thunderstorm watch until 7 p.m. It means that conditions, and we already know that, are ripe for severe thunderstorms to continue through the 7 o'clock hour and perhaps impacting ball games all around the valley. Now, here are the latest warnings. Everything you see in red, flash flood warnings. Everything you see in yellow, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. We're going to take off all the radar and light. Yeah, look at this. The entire valley essentially is under a flash flood warning. And then we've got a severe thunderstorm warning out on the far west side of town. Town, that's north of the
Crazy.
White Tanks,
Yep.
into Mesa and South Scottsdale, also extending up into Fountain Hills, and then out above the Superstition Mountains in a more rural area. So let's kind of zero in on some of these storms. Look, here's the thing about the I-17 that's crazy, and I've been watching Gina's traffic. There's like a line of thunderstorms moving straight up the I-17. It's just the craziest thing you'd ever see, that it's like on a track and it's running right up the I-17 dumping rain. And that's the one thing these storms have been doing is, as we call it, training, following one another. So they do tend to produce a lot of rain. Okay, Paul, we're going to do some of our slice and dice in here.
Oh, I like this.
Just to show how big these storms are and see what the tops on some of these storms are right now.
Well, this is the one we had the warning on, right?
Look at this. This top is over 50,000 feet.
Crazy.
And see at the bottom there, you can see the purple. That's an indication that hail is falling in that storm that is up in the vicinity of Fountain Hills right now. So yeah, that is a big thunderstorm for sure. And I want to do that slice and dice with one of the. Let's do it with the storms that are kind of moving up the I-10. Now these aren't going to be as strong, but it's still going to be interesting to see how they are in terms of height into the atmosphere. And you can see we have a radar dish right there on the near west side. That's specifically for Sky Harbor Airport. Now there's the difference. This one is just a little over 30,000 feet, and you can tell this storm was a lot weaker storm. So Paul, should I do a couple of, I do have a couple models to show.
Let's
do you want to do that?
Please do.
Before I do though, look at this stuff forming south of us. It's not over.
Come on, man. Those are moving north.
Here's what we think. You know, we've got this low moving in that's given us the instability. This is more like a cold front, if you will, that isn't moving very fast, you know, back in the Midwest. And so these storms are just lining up along that and moving very quickly to the north and to the east. And it does look like we have another batch about to roll into the valley. And we think that's going to be around for a while. So let me show you the high resolution model. And this is kind of interesting because it shows, well, here we are just past 2 p.m. now, but it shows possible impacts. Here we are at 4:30, and we've still got storms around, but check this out. Around 5:30, 6 o'clock, we've got storms in the East Valley that could impact that ASU game. I mean, these models are not precise. That storm is going to end up right by the way, at the end of the X in Phoenix, but it shows that potential's out there. And then we still have thunderstorms around at 8 p.m. So as we've been saying, we're thinking there's about a 30 to 40% chance that maybe the game will get delayed a little bit at the start, but as we go through time, we think that chance, and you know, lightning is the main concern at football games. We think that chance for lightning is going to go downhill. Paul, I'm going to show you two more things. Rainfall. The rest of today and tomorrow, okay? Not what we already had, okay?
This is to add on top.
This is what we're going to add on top, and it's in some areas it's pretty significant. Globe Miami could get another quarter of an inch. Sierra Vista over an inch of rain. The good news is the showers, and that's through 7 a.m. tomorrow. The showers tomorrow are not going to be quite as widespread, but look at Lake Havasu popping up to nearly 2 inches of rain. It actually looks like tomorrow is going to be a big day in western Arizona, and by a big day, it means a lot of rain and a lot of storming. And Yuma with a lot of rain, you know, they've had a bunch of flooding. Whoa. What happened? Did we lose that computer there? I lost control of that computer.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, well, at least we can still look at the graphic. And now I'm going to show you the valley, so our neighborhoods as we go through the rest of tonight and tomorrow, and then I will sort of re-rack on the radar for you. So we're just slowly going through time, and we're not going to see much more in accumulation, it doesn't look like, until we get to tomorrow. But look at that.
Buckeye, Goodyear.
Yeah, so West Valley. We still could have, I mean, rainfall amounts like this would be a huge monsoon day by itself.
This
coming off the heels of what we're getting today is crazy.
On a historic day here, and we've had some issues, Royal, at Sky Harbor, and Sarah she showed us a live look at some of the Waymos that were stalled out, and still a pretty big time situation when it comes to flights flying out of the area. Sarah has an update. Hello, Sarah.
Well, we just got here and we can already see some of the planes moving again. When we first got here, they were all kind of at the dock, but now we've seen some pull out to the taxi area. None of them have taken off. We haven't seen any land either, but we are pretty sure that there are people in these planes, so they have been waiting while the ground stop took place. So when we were driving here, we saw pretty intense flooding on some of the roadways leading up into the airport. We saw several stalled out Waymos that were stuck in those floodwaters. So if you need to get to the airport, it might be best to leave sooner rather than later to give yourself more time to get there, because it was very, very slow, both on the highway. We were on the 51 going south. That was very slow. And then we were really slow getting up into the airport to the parking garage. So I want to give you a live look at some of the planes. I just saw some lightning, so I'm not sure if that ground stop has been lifted. For now, it seems like it is still intact. Nothing is really happening on the runway at all. So, of course, we'll be sure to update you when we get word that planes are taking off and landing again. But there's definitely much more movement now than there was even when we first got here about 5 minutes ago. So I'll be sure to keep you updated. I'm Sarah Robinson reporting live in Tempe. Guys?
All right, Sarah, thank you so much. It's Gina here, and we're continuing to track traffic, and that's a live look at the 202. That is the Santan Freeway, but also the 202 Red Mountain Freeway at Gilbert Road, where you can see the conditions are dreary. So we want to turn to the folks who take care of us on our roadways. From the Arizona Department of Transportation, Doug Casey is on the phone. Doug, good morning, or I should say, I'm so used to saying good morning. It's afternoon already. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, Gina, yes.
So I'm wondering, on a day like today, is it all hands on deck, and how are your crews? They must be incredibly busy, all dispatched on the roadways right now?
It is. You know, our crews are out there. They're making sure that anything that happens is get quickly moved to the side, make sure the pump stations are working, and they currently are. Everything's working as it should. And so we're really kind of responding to incidents as they happen and hoping that people make good, safe decisions out there on the roads today, because they are very wet.
You know, while we're talking about the flooding, let's take you live now to the I-17, I-10 split. So that's close to 24th Street for folks who aren't familiar. And that ramp there, it is a low-lying area, and it looked like we had 2 to 3 feet of water. Can you tell us, is that the case? And it looked like you guys efficiently were able to get people who were trapped on the ramp off of the ramp there. Tell us about the situation there, and tell us what you'll do. Do you just wait till it recedes, or do you bring in a pump truck? What happens from here?
Yeah, that ramp, it was southbound I-17 to westbound I-10. It is currently closed, or at least it was as of like 5 minutes ago, and I left the room to be in a quieter place to take this call. But what happens is, you know, a lot of times the water will recede by itself. If we need to bring in a hydrovac truck or a pump truck, we can do that. I don't know exactly what the situation is right now for the response to that, but Phoenix Fire is out there and DPS is out there, and we're out there. We're all monitoring the situation and working to make sure people are safe.
Doug, that's probably the one spot that I've seen the most amount of accumulation as far as the rain and flooding is concerned. Are there other spots that you want people to be aware of? I saw a little bit of ponding on the 101 near the US 60, but are there other spots that we should be aware of?
You know, I'm certainly not a meteorologist, and I'm not a weather person, but I did pull up the flood control, Maricopa County Flood Control District totals up today, and it looks like if you got less than an inch of water today, you might be in the minority, and you're pretty lucky. So I guess kind of the weather moves, the rain can come down in one block and not hit another block. Just be smart out there. You know, slow down, don't tailgate, give yourself plenty of room to brake.
All great advice. I guess what I'm asking is, are your crews out at specific spots where you guys have got some ponding and you're trying to divert drivers away from that area?
No, not currently, not right now. I mean, we're monitoring the pump stations. The pumps are working to clear that water from highways. They can move about a backyard's worth of swimming pool in just a few minutes. So no, we don't have any quote-unquote trouble spots right now. The only closure or restriction that we've got going on is that ramp that we talked about a minute ago. Everything else is open. We just, you know, we're getting into that afternoon commute time, and we just want people to make safe decisions. And if they see a street that has standing water on it, you know, avoid that and give yourself plenty of time to get home, and definitely don't tailgate. Go the speed limit. or even less today.
You know, we have been watching some of the hot spots along the I-17, I should say underneath the I-17, I-17 in Greenway, Peoria, and it looks like your pumps are all working as they should. You guys have, in fact, on the right side of our screen, we're looking specifically live at the I-17 in Greenway. It's got to be satisfying to know that all systems were a go and worked as they should.
Yeah, that had been a trouble spot for a while. We had an improvement project to redo all the pump systems and the drainage in that stretch of I-10, kind of in North Phoenix area. That completed a couple years ago, I want to say, and things are, knock on wood, things are looking pretty good right now. But like I said, even if there's standing water in some areas, it doesn't mean the pumps are not working. They can move a ton of water, but a lot of places today got a lot of water in a short amount of time. And the best thing the public can do to help those pumps keep working at their peak capacity is by not dumping their trash on freeways, not dumping their litter on highways, because that trash can clog the pump system, and it slows everything down, and it takes longer. So keep your trash and put it in trash cans. Don't dump it on the freeway, and keep the pumps clear so they can move the water.
So, Doug, it's 2:23. We are just a short time away now from the afternoon rush hour, and then we've got big events on tap for this afternoon and this evening, including the Mercury game, the ASU game. Tell us what you're bracing for as far as all of this anticipated congestion we're expecting to see on the roadways.
I think people need to plan ahead and make sure they give themselves plenty of time and maybe have a couple different routes to get where they need to be. Highways are different than surface streets and vice versa. So some streets, if they're low-lying areas, they may need to find a different way to get there because they may have standing water, they may be flooded. I had to do that about an hour ago to get from downtown over to my building at the Traffic Operations Center. So I would say just plan ahead and also dress for the conditions.
Well, Doug, Casey from Arizona Department of Transportation, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Really appreciate it, and we wish you and your crew's safety out there on the roadways in the midst of this storm. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Gina, really appreciate that. Some great information from ADOT, and yeah, the roads are a mess out there. And the rainfall totals, we're putting together some graphics out here. You can see tracking storms across the valley. It is a first alert weather day. We've extended that first alert that's going to last again for tomorrow. And we've got another round of rain. We've got another round of rain again in the forecast starting tonight and again for tomorrow. Derek Stahl has been tracking the power outages and some of the situations across the valley. Derek, you have an update for us in this historic storm today?
Oh boy, there's a lot going on in the newsroom. We got about 150 people running around making calls, gathering information. Breaking news update for you is that the ground stop at Sky Harbor has just been extended to 3:30 p.m. So as I look on flight radar right now, Phoenix Sky Harbor is the most disrupted airport in the world right now, according to Flight Radar 24, even more disrupted than Nice, France. And by a lot, because if I look at Nice, France, their average delay right now is about 100 minutes for an outbound flight. We are, at last check, about 2 hours plus. 105 minutes for inbound, 172 minutes for an outbound flight. So a lot of problems at Sky Harbor. But I want to talk about the problems that we've had with water rescues. And I want to bring in Captain Todd Keller with the Phoenix Fire Department. Captain Keller, thank you so much for being here. Right now I'm showing the Phoenix Regional Dispatch Center active incidents, which is a little bit of a map that shows where you guys are responding right now. And I see that water rescue icon a few places. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, so I can tell you right now, I'm going to echo what DPS and ADOT said about expect delays. Obviously, we have multiple sporting events tonight. You're going to have road closures. Please plan ahead, and yeah, absolutely expect delays. Speaking of these water rescues, we've had a couple of them down south around 7th Street and Broadway. We've had a couple in the West Valley. A lot of these have been recalled because the people have been able to self-extricate themselves from their vehicles. But we just need to reiterate, please avoid these flooded areas. Look out for signs, pay close attention to the news, and give yourself time if you are traveling to one of these events tonight.
Okay, so it sounds like what you're saying is most of the water rescues that we see on the big board right now are people in cars that are in kind of flooded out streets, not necessarily somebody stuck near a canal or something like that. We're showing a live shot right now of people passing through quite a bit of standing water. I'm not sure what part of town this is because we've got crews all over the place, but remind us about the risks of driving through standing water.
Great. I'm so glad you asked that question. So I can tell you that within, I think it's what we said, less than 12 inches of water, less than 6 inches of water, your car can actually hydroplane. So please do not drive through these flooded areas. You're seeing people walk through these and stuff like that. Sometimes you do not know how deep these are. People think they can drive through them, and all of a sudden they are in a situation where the fire department needs to come out and what we call a water rescue to help them, like we said, extricate themselves, extract themselves from their vehicles.
Yeah, and then as all of these water rescues and the like are taking place, I'm also seeing on the Regional Dispatch active incident board, you guys are responding to some fires. I see there's a report of a working fire near Broadway and 16th Street that popped up about 30 minutes ago. A lot of units on the scene. I'm sure it's very preliminary in terms of the information, but can you share anything about that and what it's like to deal with a fire in a storm like this?
Right, exactly. So what you said is that exactly right. We did have one around that 20th Street and Broadway. Crews were able to make entry, find a contents fire, and quickly extinguish this. To answer your question, when there is rain, it's just like any other time we're going to run into a structure fire. We're just going to mitigate that and take care of the issue. There was a possible around 16th Street and Southern, there was a report of a structural collapse, but crews made it on scene, and it actually was not. There was only one employee in there, so no one trapped. That actually turned out really well. But let's just reiterate again, like you said, like ADOT said, DPS said, please take your time today. Do not drive in these flooded areas.
Yeah, no doubt. And if we could take the live center camera here, we could show the incident we're talking about on the map here. This is near Broadway and 16th Street where that working fire was called out around 1:50 this afternoon. Captain Keller, when you have lightning in the area, a big storm like this, does that affect your ability to use, say, ladder trucks?
No, not really. We will take it effect. We'll note that there is lightning. If there is a need for an elevated position, we will use our ladder trucks, but we will mitigate that danger just like we would any other danger. But on this structure fire, I'm going to reiterate on this. So they did balance it to a first alarm. It was near 18th place. Is that these crews did an absolutely fabulous job getting in there, extinguishing the flames, and preventing this fire from extending to multiple units. This was a big apartment complex, so they did an absolute fabulous job. It's raining. We have lightning. There's flooded areas. So, again, please take your time out there.
Wow. Well, great work by the Phoenix Fire Department. Captain Todd Keller, thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. I want to show one more thing, guys, here on the map as we let Captain Keller go. This is the outage map that we've been showing you. I'm checking in on Maricopa County. There's about 2,000. Oh no, the number just went up. There's now 5,366 people without power. That's an aggregate of both APS, SRP, and some other smaller utility companies. So the number of folks without power has been going up as crews continue to deal with this. That's something we'll be monitoring here in the Live Center. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that's crazy, and I think we're going to continue to see these power outages increase. We've got a graphic up that we want to show you on KTVK1, and it's the Sky Harbor total for today. Paul, we're over an inch of rain today, and Holly, who's going to be in here in just a second, check this out for us, and I want to read her text. Okay, this is the biggest rain day of the year so far in 2025. The next one in line was a day in March where we had all of 39 hundredths of an inch of rain.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing how much rain has come down? So we are now just a little bit behind our monsoon average, and we'll get you an update on the year too, and as we go throughout the afternoon hours. Now, this is our rainfall map, and you can see that some areas got a ton of rain. Glendale, 1.25 inches. Scottsdale's got a rain gauge near 2 inches. Tempe's got a rain gauge around 2.5 inches of rain. Over 1 inch at Fountain Hills, about 1 inch at Mesa, and just shy of 1 inch at Chandler so far. And we've got some more storms coming in, and these are sort of the ones we've been highlighting. The I-17 just got hammered, and so did areas of the west side. That Tempe number again, about 2.5 inches of rain, and Scottsdale just shy of that. So first alert Doppler, just to show you, we want to get you updated on the warnings and the radar, and there's another round coming in. First of all, the number of lightning strikes, this is just in the last 5 minutes. These are cloud to ground, just popped up to nearly 300 lightning strikes in this area where we've got the watches and warnings out. And we'll widen out the view. That area in pink, that's where we have the severe thunderstorm watch now till 7 p.m. And that means what we're seeing, severe thunderstorms, could potentially continue until 7 p.m. So we'll go back into the radar and notice how these showers are sort of training. They're following one another. We were talking about the band of showers moving up the I-17, pretty, right up the I-17 it seemed like. And the showers are following one another. So because of that, we're seeing some of these immense rainfall amounts. Paul, do one slice and dice for you because I just like the slicing.
Well, these are huge storms, Royal.
Well, this storm that we're going to slice into here, it may not let me slice. Computer being a little bit irritable. You know how, here we go, slice and dice time with this one, and we'll see what it's doing. Okay, it's weakened a little bit. Remember, it was up around 60,000 feet.
Crazy.
It's down to maybe 40 to 50,000 feet, but there still may be some hail falling out of that storm. So we have to keep a close eye on that for sure over the next couple of hours as that moves up the Beeline Highway and potentially anyway produces some heavy rain for folks headed up to Payson and headed back down the hill to Payson. Now, one more shot for you as we back out of this and show you, because I want to show you a line of storms coming in from the south.
That's the scary thing. There's more on
there's
top
more
of
on the way. There's a whole big cell here, Rainbow Valley, around the South Mountain area, beginning to come in from the south. We've got another band of showers into Chandler, and we've got another band of showers where we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get the info on that. In the far southeast valley, that is a brand new one, and that is going to be in effect until 3 p.m. Severe thunderstorm warning for the Queen Creek area until 3 p.m. So a day long of storms so far today, Paul, which has been an amazing, amazing thing. And we do think that it's 2:30 that we could still see some thunderstorms in the vicinity 6 and 7 o'clock tonight, potentially impacting high school games, potentially impacting the big game down in Tempe.
Well, they mentioned the tailgate, the big tailgate. That is canceled tonight.
Okay.
So if you were planning on heading on down there for the tailgate before the ASU game, it's going to be a big game, and I'm sure they're going to play rain or shine. But if there's any thunderstorms in the vicinity, they're going to have to delay that. But here's a live look. This is Storm Commander out there, the dark, ominous clouds. We've got traffic issues just about everywhere. And Jake, I've got some pictures from some of our viewers on our First Alert Facebook page that we really appreciate you guys helping us tell the story with that. We have over 177,000 members on our Facebook page. The hail is a huge story because we're going to hear about some damage when it comes to roofs and some vehicles out there. Holly's coming on the set here with us here today. And just look at the size of these hailstones, Holly. This is crazy. The severe thunderstorm warning started to pop up at around 8:30. And some of the reports mentioned we could have potential up to around 60-mile-per-hour winds. There was a wind gust at Sky Harbor that got up to 55 miles per hour. And then you've got pictures like this. This is from Bryce, where Bryce said, boy, it was coming down here at work. It looks like he works at a lumber area. But Bryce is in the downtown area. And look at all that rain in this region. Then our winner, thank you, Paul. Just some incredible pictures. We got a rainbow, a heavy downpour. It was a double rainbow that graced the skies out in Stafford. And then you got this, mammatus clouds. And, you know, my old stomping grounds was Cincinnati before I moved here, and that we also had some severe weather days. And whenever you spotted things like this on the Mattis Cloud, you knew, oh boy, this is going to be a pretty active day today. And then a beautiful shot here. Another beautiful cloud formation. This is from Leslie out in the Mesa area. And then Holly, my favorite.
Yes.
Okay, I got to show this guy because he gets our mascot of the day.
Oh, look at him.
There's David.
David.
He said, hey guys, I'm just going on my walk here at 59th Avenue in Bell.
Okay.
And while out on the walk, I caught some hail and prayed even harder and made it, and things cooled down. Thank you, David, for that picture. The watches, the warnings, we're going to get a look at the radar with you, I think, in just a second.
Yeah.
But look at all the highlighted areas with the National Weather Service. This is just crazy. We went from 89 degrees at 11 o'clock this morning, dropped down to 67. That's where we sit currently. And these rainfall totals, so amazing at the airport. And rainfall data, Royal just showed us the numbers. This is a historic day here on September 26th. Just some amazing amount of rain, and more's on the way down to the south of us, Holly. What do we got here?
I can't even really imagine what 67 degrees feels like. It's almost like, what do you mean it's in the 60s?
It's crazy. We were out and about in the west side of town.
Yeah.
And once that storm passed, I mean, temperatures dropped into the upper 60s to lower 70s.
Amazing.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is paradise right here.
What a change. Paul, we have new information from Sky Harbor, so want to point that out really quickly. You mentioned the really strong wind gusts. We just got some new info that the ground stop there is now extended even further. So now until 3:30, which is about an hour, and ground delays are also expected until 7. They have spokespeople there who say 10 flights were diverted to other airports because of the weather during the initial ground stops earlier today. So if you guys want to pull up, here we go. Look at some of those current wind gusts out there right now. We have some really strong winds, especially out in the East Valley. That's where we're tracking a severe thunderstorm warning at this point. And Paul, you could tell me if this is new. There's a dust storm advisory.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had a couple of them pop up again throughout the day, but this is probably a new one, huh?
Okay, so it's just to the south. Graphics are just taking a second to load. Here's our dust storm advisory, and this is in effect south of the valley. So for cities like Eloy, but of course this is right along the 10, and that's the busy highway people take to and from the Tucson area. So you see those showers and storms right over that area, and some dust getting picked up too. We'll see if we could pull up one of the cameras maybe out in that area too, and I'm sure we're seeing already some blowing dust right there along the 10. So let's give you a wide view, and there is lots to talk about here all across the state, but we'll get a little bit closer here into the valley area. What I want to point out, and Paul, I feel like I don't even know maybe the last time you've seen something like this, flash flood warnings almost across the entire valley.
Crazy.
It's all of those red boxes you see up from Cave Creek down through Central Phoenix out toward Apache Junction. There are also now some severe thunderstorm warnings, and that one in effect right through Fountain Hills, parts of Scottsdale, just getting hit with some of that heavy activity, and it's pushing further up to the north and to the east right through Fountain Hills and Rio Verde. Looks like we may even be seeing some hail out near the Beeline Highway near Fountain Hills. So a severe thunderstorm warning in effect from that area up from Fountain Hills through Tortilla Flat and just outside of Apache Junction. This one now includes the Queen Creek area where they're seeing some heavy rain coming down at this point, Paul, and some very gusty winds too. Royal mentioned some of the rainfall totals. I know you did, Paul, too.
Yeah.
I just pulled a couple of as well. This is just to the northeast of ASU's football stadium.
This is nuts.
Almost 2.5 inches.
Okay.
We've picked up close to 2 inches in that area too, South Scottsdale-ish.
Crazy.
About 1.75 inches, Sun City, a little bit shy of 1.5 inches in Levine, out to Peoria, and here in Central Phoenix too. So of course, yes, we still have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect through 8 p.m. Do we want to go forward in time, Paul, and we can maybe see what the next
look at the future here
couple of hours will look like?
Because, you know, we issued this first alert earlier this week, and we're extending it now right through Saturday. So there's still a chance for more of this to happen.
Yeah, and even driving in to work on my way here, we were already seeing around that noontime hour some of those really heavy storms move through, and people were turning into driveways, flooded driveways.
Wow.
The roads we've obviously seen, as Gina has showed us, really dangerous driving conditions. And then, of course, there's Friday night football.
Oh.
And so, how will this affect people's Friday evening? So we're fast forwarding the clock through about 5 p.m. and Paul wants to put some scattered showers still across parts of the valley through 5 p.m. and that even could be some heavy rain at times too. And then through about 6, 7, may even start to see some lingering activity around the 7, 8 o'clock hour before it clears up a little bit overnight. And then of course we are expecting a little bit more activity heading into tomorrow too.
Wow. And the ground's already saturated. So any more bands of rain that roll through here, we're going to deal with another messy situation along the roadways. Here's I-17. Look at this in Bethany Home.
Wow.
It's been a long time since we've seen pictures like this. We have, I think, 4 or 5 days left of the season when it comes to the monsoon. And we just made up for it. We just added an inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall to our rainfall totals.
And what's funny is during the monsoon, that one day I think we picked up 1/4 inch. We were like, woohoo, that's a good amount for us. And here we are sitting at over 1 inch at Sky Harbor. And I know in the last half hour you guys showed it was a little bit of a mess out near the Sky Harbor airport. So maybe if people do have Friday night flights, of course that ground stop's still in effect through at least 3:30, but you got to think there's a lot of people out at the airport right now. Or maybe your flight's in a few hours and you're like me, you like to cut it close and get there about 45 minutes before. You'll probably want to head out much earlier because the roads are pretty bad. This is a live look. I think it's from our storm commander, Paul.
Pete just loaded in there, and we got our crews out and about. We're going to start our 3 p.m. newscast. And speaking of our crews, Derek's been working hard. I know the newsroom has been buzzing, Derek. You got some more information with this historic storm here.
Yeah, the concern right now is about water rescues. We've got the scanners going here in the newsroom. We're hearing lots of reports about water rescues. It's what we talked about with Captain Todd Keller just a short time ago. Here, I want to show you something, and this is what's so concerning. So I'm looking at the Granite Reef Wash in Scottsdale. This is near McDowell. It runs kind of north and south. It's near McDowell and in the Scottsdale area. The flood stage. Look at these numbers right now. So the last report is that it's at 7.67 feet in terms of the water levels. If you come down here to the bottom right-hand corner, bring in the camera. Let's get real close to this. Back in 2014, on September 8th, 2014, this wash got to 7.76 feet. So just 1/10 of a foot right now is the difference. We are 1/10 of a foot below where we were in 2014. And if I bring up 2014, I was just kind of looking around at our video vault at some of the craziness of that storm. And it's going to give me an ad, of course. But basically, we remember 2014. It was wild. There was a ton of flooding back then. So let's talk about the situation at Sky Harbor. Holly just brought it up and mentioned it. I got a ground stop until 3:30 this afternoon. Look at the disruption index according to Flight Radar 24. Average delay for an arriving flight right now is 105 minutes, an hour and 45 minutes. Average delay for an outbound flight is 172 minutes, and they are expecting those delays to continue through about the 7 o'clock hour. Last I checked, we were the most delayed airport, yes, in the world, even more than Nice, France. So this is a look at Nice right now. Their average delay is a paltry 74 minutes for an inbound flight. Let's talk about power outages. That's something we've been tracking throughout the afternoon. Let's get the latest number here in Maricopa County, 5,699. As I check on my little cheat sheet here, that is more than we had 15 minutes ago and more than we had in the 2 o'clock hour. So the number of power outages keeps creeping up. We had about 5,000 total between Maricopa County and Pinal County. Let's see where Pinal County's at. They're kind of locked in at the same number. It's been this number pretty much for the last hour or so. So the number of power outages has been going up. It's primarily on the SRP side. Let's look at this SRP map here for a moment and kind of zoom in. So we got a situation in West Phoenix. Here's the purple icon. That means it's the most severe, the largest power outage. This one has grown slightly. It's now 1,229 customers that are out, near 47,000 Avenue, between 47th Avenue and 31st Avenue, right around Indian School, so kind of the West Phoenix area. And as we track these numbers, it's worth kind of reminding people that the numbers I'm giving you are the number of customers, the number of households. There could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in a household, so we don't know exactly how many people are affected per se, just the number of customers. So that's my little disclaimer. Over in Mesa, they got one near Dobson Road and University. 415 people are out right now. Farther to the east, we got 700 people out. This is at Power Road and Hawes. They are hoping to have this one restored in the next 15 minutes, but as I've been checking, it looks like the restoration times have been changing and they've been kind of in flux because, as you can imagine, there's a lot of problems they're trying to deal with all at the same time. Here's one more I want to bring up. This one's out farther east of Apache Junction near Mountain View, and around the 60. About 911 customers are still out. They've been out since 12:30. A lot of these power outages, 12:42, 1:48, 11:20. So these people have been out of power now, without power for the last few hours as these storms have run their course. Let's look one more time at Sky Harbor, because that's what we're talking about next. Bringing up FlightAware. So as we said before, #1 most delayed airport in the world right now. Average delay for an inbound flight is now 141 minutes. And with that said, let's send it down to the ground to Sky Harbor right now. Sarah Robinson is.
Well, hey there. Yeah, I want to show you what we are seeing, because we see planes that are kind of taxiing, but none that have taken rain in the distance there that you can see falling in the sky. We've also seen quite a bit of lightning more towards downtown Phoenix. If we could pan over there, we might be able to catch some on camera. Let's see if we can. But in the meantime, I know you guys have been talking about just how many flights are delayed. I think I saw the latest numbers were over 400 delayed and more than 20 canceled. That's a lot. I believe Derek said that was the most cancellations and delayed flights at any airport in the world right now. So we have seen traffic off and on, as you can see down below. It looks a lot better than it was. Of course, when we first got here, it was still raining pretty hard, but now it does seem like it has cleared up. But you can still see cars pulling from kind of that underground area, pulling out of the parking garage where there's really large puddles. We did see 2 Waymos that were completely stuck in kind of that puddled floodwater pulling into the airport. Hopefully they are on the move now and we're able to get that figured out. But yeah, things are still really still here at the airport. We haven't seen much movement at all. It does seem that there are people stuck on those planes, especially the ones that have been taxiing around. So hopefully the ground stop gets lifted soon. But with the lightning that I'm seeing off in the distance, that doesn't seem like a real possibility right now. But of course, we'll be able to update you as soon as it does with the very latest information. I'll send it back to you guys. Reporting live at the airport, I'm Sarah Robinson for Arizona's Family.
Sarah, what a day today. Thank you for your coverage out there. A live look outside showing the dark, ominous clouds and a historic storm on this September day as we start to end this season when it comes to the monsoon. But Holly, a little bit of a story about Jonathan, our producer, who's cruising around here.
Okay.
He came in early today. He normally produces the 3 o'clock newscast, and he's so excited. He told me, Paul, I'm going to adult camp. I never went to camp as a kid.
Okay.
They've got archery. They've got all these activities planned for him. He's very excited. And Jonathan is joining us right now. And Jonathan, buddy, I'm so sorry. It looks like your flight might be delayed.
Delayed might be an understatement. At this point, I think I would have made it to Southern California if I'd walked. Let me just tell you about my journey here. I took a Waymo, and that was my own fault. But I sat in a parking lot for 45 minutes in a Waymo while they tried to figure out what to do with the flooding. Then it finally decided to give it a shot, got stuck twice in the middle of the road, pulled off to the side of the road, and then I finally was able to order a different car, and now I'm in a Lyft. Our Lyft driver had no choice but to drive through a flooded road on Washington and I believe 24th Street. And when I say flooded, I felt the water pushing up against the undercarriage of the car the entire time.
That is scary, man.
there was really no other route either. It was one of those things where once you've committed to a road, you're there. I sent in some video to the station that'll probably air in the 3 p.m., but I drove by at least 4 cars that were in the road itself, and when I started recording, there was a woman who had to get out and start pushing her own car in the flooded water.
Wow.
Even if someone wanted to help, they would have to get their car stuck in the water to do the same. It is brutal out here, and the only piece of advice I can say is, if you can stay home, do it, and if you can't, don't take a Waymo.
Well, we probably saw your Waymo pulled off to the side of the road, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's very possible. And I'm a big proponent for Waymo. They even refunded the trip and everything and gave me the next one for free because they know this was unexpected, but I guess technology is just not there yet.
Jonathan, like Paul said, we got some video of those Waymos that were stranded and stalled. And so are you in the airport now, or are you still on the way to the airport?
So we are actually pulling up into the arrival and departure segment now at Terminal 3, I believe, on the south side.
Okay.
So my Lyft driver's about to pull over and let me out.
Okay, because I'm curious what the energy, Paul, is inside the airport, because no one likes a delay, no one likes the cancellation. It's a little bit messy and chaotic outside, and I just can imagine what, being stuck inside the airport, looking out the windows to a site like this is like.
I'll say this. If you give me about another 60 seconds, I can probably give you that energy. I'm someone who likes to get to the airport, about an hour or two early to avoid any kind of TSA delay kind of things.
Smart.
So this is helping that anxiety, knowing that my flight's not leaving in 20 minutes.
Okay.
But knowing that my flight's not leaving for another minimum 2 hours, 3 hours is a little upsetting.
What do conditions look like as you're approaching the airport there?
Honestly, traffic is moving pretty smoothly. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people who are waiting outside in this area. Now, once I get inside, that might be a different story. But the actual car and traffic format of Sky Harbor, the arrival and departure section seems to be just fine, which is, I guess, surprising to me, honestly.
Well, that's a positive, because earlier today it was backed up, and I'm sure a lot of people are calling their family and friends, come pick me up.
Yeah.
But, man.
And Jonathan, we don't know if you heard, but Derek was saying it is the most delays and most cancellations out of any airport, apparently in the world.
In the world.
Right now.
In the world.
Yes. And so we hope, that it's okay for you, Jonathan. We're glad that you made it there safe. And are you inside yet to bring us?
I'm walking in now. I'm seeing the people around me. I'm still before TSA, and I'm actually not seeing a lot of people right now.
Okay, that's a good sign.
Yeah, okay.
So that's good. Oh, never mind. I looked to my left, and I immediately see an entire crowd.
Oh, boy. Well, it is America's friendliest airport.
It is a good airport.
Everybody
I love
pack
Sky
your
Harbor.
patience.
Yeah, everyone right now is currently at the ticket counters, and I don't know if they're trying to get refunds or trying to get new flights. But this is a very large group. If I could take a video of it, I'll send it to the station, and we can use it in the next hour. But yeah, this is a large amount of people that are waiting in line right now.
Well, I know you've been looking forward to this camp. We talked about it all morning. He was so excited. And I hope you can get there, buddy. Okay?
Yes.
Enjoy. We want some pictures of your camp experience, too.
I will make sure to do that, because if anything comes out of this, I at least got to be a part of something historic, right?
Yeah, you're right, buddy.
You are part of history, Jonathan.
All right. Thank you,
you,
Jonathan, for that update. Let's get an update now where it's raining currently and show everybody what's happening here.
Sure. So I would imagine what we're showing right now, Paul, is that a live look from our chopper, possibly? Okay. So that's what people are, seeing outside right now. Gloomy, a little,
ominous.
dark.
Ugh. That looks like Piestewa Peak out there. No hikers today. That's very dangerous with lightning in the air.
And actually that area near Piestewa Peak got over 1.5 inches of rain. Last time I checked, that was about 30 minutes ago. So I would assume, much more rain has fallen in that area. If you guys do want to come over to the radar on KTVK2, we can track where the showers and storms are right now. You could see, Paul, there's so much lightning out there. And it's very, widespread. It was earlier today when you were talking around the noontime hour, I believe, or 1, and it was up to the north and to the west.
Yeah, the West
Areas
Valley.
like Surprise, West Valley. Now it's almost right along the I-17, that line extending from really into Glendale too, but central Phoenix along the 10 and right up along the I-17. And I would imagine, Paul, people who are trying to leave town or come into Phoenix, but a lot of people head out to California for the weekend. So the 10 freeway from basically downtown to Avondale, Litchfield Park area, probably some really heavy rain on that freeway right now. I'm going to turn the lightning strikes off so it becomes a little bit easier for people to see. And so zooming out, wide view. Here's what we're seeing, and still some of the heaviest activity, what I just showed, right through central Phoenix, but also up to the north and to the northeast, areas like Fountain Hills, and actually some hail out in that area too, Paul. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a break in some spots, right? We were having some heavier rain out toward the East Valley, Southeast Valley about an hour ago. Now you could see some of that heavy rain coming down just outside of Queen Creek,
Holly,
and again, pushing up through Phoenix.
This just in. Has not been seen for many, many years. We have a waterfall on Camelback Mountain.
Wow.
What?
That's almost hard to believe.
Okay, yes, folks. That's how much rain is falling in the area.
That's insane.
And Brian was right along the hiking trails there.
Wow.
I'm not sure if Brian was planning on taking a hike today, but that is a waterfall. Ladies and gentlemen, right there on Camelback Mountain, that's going to go viral for sure. And we were showing it to you first, to our viewers here on Arizona's Family. We only got about 20 seconds left on this update, and then we're going to send it for the 3 o'clock news. But Holly, thank you so much for your help.
Yes, it was a pleasure, Paul. And of course, we're still tracking some of the rain throughout this evening. So Royal will be right there at our 3 o'clock show with everyone else.
What a day.
Arizona's Family is proud to welcome GCU Athletics to the family. And that means you can watch GCU Women's Volleyball live on Arizona's Family Sports and 3TV. See the GCU Lady Antelopes take on Utah State Saturday afternoon at 1 on Arizona's Family Sports and Arizona's Family 3TV. Proud to be the official home of GCU Athletics.
Nearly 1 million Arizona families are experiencing hunger right now.
It's a problem, but together we can make a difference.
Arizona's Family, Albertsons, and Safeway are teaming up to feed Arizona families. And we need your help.
Go to any Albertsons or Safeway and donate right at the register.
Would you like to donate to St. Vincent de Paul to help feed Arizona families?
Absolutely.
You bet.
Help us feed Arizona families. Sponsored by Albertsons and Safeway. Only on Arizona's Family.
Arizona's Family News is sponsored by Amazing Offer. Get an amazing offer for your home.
Unlimited 1.5% cash back is just the beginning. Cash back 3% on dining, 5% on Chase Travel, and 3% at drugstores. Apply today at chase.com/gounlimited. Start cash backing with Chase Freedom Unlimited.
I chose to become a nurse because I wanted to be able to help people, but also to make a difference. The best part about being a nurse is getting to connect with people, getting to know who they are as humans, not just as patients. Carrington prepared me very well. Not only were they very hands-on, but Carrington really focused on understanding what's happening to be able to take great care of patients. And I wanted to be a part of that.
Hi, I'm attorney Sandra Oswald, and I've helped thousands of good people become debt-free through bankruptcy. We can accept your case today with little or no money down. It's all about helping you. We will start speaking to your creditors today. Call 602-225-2222. Call now.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Family, 3TV.
Right now at 3, a rare September storm sweeps through Arizona, bringing rain, hail, and even flooding to the valley. These are 4 live looks from our ADOT cameras right now across town. We are tracking severe thunderstorms and flash flood warnings in effect for our area right now. Thanks for joining us on this First Alert Weather Day. I'm Jamie Soretta. This is the first of 2 First Alert Weather Days, today and tomorrow. We have a ton of viewer videos coming into our newsroom right now. Check out this flooding in downtown Phoenix. This is at 2nd Street and Buchanan. not far from PHX Arena, where the Mercury hosts Minnesota in a playoff game later tonight. We also know the ground stop at Phoenix Sky Harbor has been extended. We will check in with Sarah Robinson in just a moment. But first, we must start with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Royal Norman with what is happening right now and what's to come, Royal.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jamie, we're going to see heavy showers and thunderstorms continuing around here for quite some time. And we're going to see that through the nighttime hours. So we wanted to do a reset on our First Alert days because we've got severe storms and flooding now around Metro Phoenix. That'll be continuing through at least 7 p.m. Heavy rain and hail likely, and some more street flooding as we've seen. Severe thunderstorm watch also until 7 p.m. Tonight. Now, rainfall at Sky Harbor Airport. We're over an inch of rain for the day. That's the most daily rain, and we think we're going to get more there, but that's the most daily rain in nearly 7 years at Sky Harbor Airport. And now we're just a little bit behind on our monsoon totals. And take a look at some of the numbers around town. Tempe's got a rain gauge. This is North Tempe, just above the highway there, the 202. We've got 2.5 inches of rain. Scottsdale near 2 inches of rain, about an inch at Fountain Hills and Carefree. And we've got that inch, over an inch at Sky Harbor Airport, with more to come. Other notable rainfall amounts include Laveen and Peoria, I-17 and Camelback, Sun City as well, nearly 2 inches. Here's our view from Talking Stick as the next wave begins to make its way now into the West Valley, moving toward the Northeast Valley. Here's another look at that storm beginning to move in. This is probably wave 3 or 4 of just today, and these storms continue to train, which means they follow one another, and that's why we're seeing the tremendous amounts of rain and really the abundance of flash flooding all around town. Everywhere in red now, we have flash flood warnings out. No severe thunderstorm warnings, so that's a little bit of an improvement. A number of lightning strikes has also gone down a little bit. We're around 200 in the last 10 minutes in this area. Just an hour or so ago, we were running up around 500 lightning strikes. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch, the area in pink, until 7 o'clock tonight, so more of the same until then. And just one other close look at the areas where we've got the flash flood warnings around Metro Phoenix, essentially the entire valley. Another cell moving up the I-17, causing some problems on the near west side. And we've got another cell moving out of the South Mountain area that could catch Sky Harbor in the not too distant future. We go to street level just to show you that here's the I-17 at Indian School, and they still have moderate rain falling there. All right, we're going to detail some more of the areas that are getting the most rain and where we expect the most rain the rest of this afternoon and this evening. Update on the big game in Tempe, too. Yeah. Will it be delayed? We'll do all that when we update our First Alert forecast.
Well, you got to think some people may be flying in for this big game.
Wow, they might get delayed then.
So they may be delayed. We want to go to Sarah Robinson. She is watching the forecast for us and how that's impacting the flights at Sky Harbor. Sarah.
Well, I know we were saying that the ground stop has been extended, but just in the past minute or so, as you guys were talking, we did see a plane take off. I think we're about to see another plane either take off or maybe that's one that's landing, but it does look like things are starting to get back up and running. Yes, that is one taking off, but we are still seeing both thunder and we're hearing lightning. So that is something to be mindful of. There could potentially be another ground stop if things continue as they were earlier today. But I do want to show you the traffic because it's a stark contrast from what we saw earlier when we were driving in here. This was completely packed. It was pretty much bumper to bumper getting into the airport. It took us a really long time. So if I or my family member were traveling to the airport and they had a flight, I would advise them to leave early just because it has been quite a mess on the roadways, as I'm sure you are aware. We do plan to go down to ticketing. We hear that area is pretty chaotic given how many delays and canceled flights there have been. So once we get down there, we'll be sure to let you know and we can give you a live look of what you might see if you are traveling tonight. Guys?
Sarah Robinson live for us. Thank you so much. We want to go to the newsroom where Derek is watching that big board for you, the arrivals and the departures as well. Derek, how does it look?
Yeah, I'm tracking that flight that Sarah just saw take off. It's actually a flight that's going to Vancouver. It was supposed to take off at 12:10 this afternoon. It just took off at 3 o'clock, so it's about 3 hours delayed. So there these folks go. They're up over the Tempe area, this flight to Vancouver on kind of a regional-sized jet. Taking a look at the delay board here. So far, in the last 24 hours, there have been 24 canceled flights, 417 delayed flights. This board shows 2 diverted flights, but we heard earlier from a spokesperson, I think they had 10 diverted flights. So a lot of impact at Sky Harbor today. And throughout the day, I've been looking at kind of Flight Radar 24's version of the misery map. It shows you the disruption index. That's the average delay and the average in both outbound and inbound flights. We've been the most delayed airport in the world because of the ground stop today. The average delay for an inbound flight is just under 2 hours, 118 minutes. The average delay for an outbound flight is 174 minutes. So this is a story that is going to continue into the afternoon and possibly into the evening hours because of how backed up they are at Sky Harbor. I want to show you the other thing that we're monitoring right now. This is the Regional Dispatch Center active incident board. This is where emergency responders, first responders get dispatched. We can see kind of where they are when they are responding to emergencies. And they've been responding to a number of water rescues. There's one right now in the Scottsdale area that popped up at 2:40, so about 20 minutes ago. This is near Miller Road and Murray Lane. And I spoke with Captain Todd Keller of the Phoenix Fire Department, and he was telling me they've gotten a lot of calls today about people stuck in cars because of all the flowing water over streets. So I'm not exactly sure what that is there, but this is an area that's very close to the Granite Reef Wash. And as I pull up this sort of complicated map here, the important part is down here. So right now the wash just dipped below flood stage. It was above flood stage about 15 or 20 minutes ago, but now it's at 6.87 feet. Flood stage is 7 feet. So they're at the bank full level. And if you see this little purple thing right here, this is the highest recorded level ever at the Granite Reef Wash. Back in 2014, September 8th, it was at 7.76 feet. We almost got there today. We were at 7.67 feet. And so just about 0.1 after that. All right, so I want to show you one more thing here. I brought up our video vault, and I want to show you what it looked like back in the day. Step back in time with me to September 8th of 2014. Look at that. We had absolutely insane flooding back then. And if I zip around a little bit, you might be able to see a little bit more. But look at that. People were driving through water that was just way, way above anything you would want to drive through. They say, as much as 6 inches of water, moving water, can actually sweep away your vehicle. So that's something we've been certainly monitoring. Let's get a live look now. Who are we going to next? Stephanie Dupre is live in Storm Commander right now. Stephanie, what are you seeing on the roads?
Hey Derek, how's it going? Sorry, we're in a new truck with all these new technology in here so we could get more eyes on the road. So we have actually just kind of left the parking lot, and this kind of just goes to give you that narrative how slow traffic is moving, and that's a good thing. So we're kind of downtown central Phoenix making our way. We are actually headed towards Whitman. So we're going to head towards Whitman. We got reports of major flooding, and we're trying to reach out to Whitman police, but I think they had said that they are looking for people. So I think there might be some people missing. We're going to link up with Whitman, with police when we get there. But that's kind of where we're headed. But just kind of looking at the road, you can see the rain still coming down and traffic moving very slow, which is obviously a good thing. People are paying attention, which is exactly what we hope people are doing. So it's good to check in. We'll keep you posted as soon as we learn more. Make sure you come back to us in a few.
Thank you so much. And we want to go to First Alert meteorologist Pete Mangione. He is in the Storm Commander driving the valley following these storms. Pete, where are you now and what are you seeing?
All right, Jamie, we are westbound on the 101 and heading towards 17. We'll probably turn south on 17, and I've been kind of checking out the radar here. We're kind of right on the edge of an approaching thunderstorm and another round of heavy downpours. I would say at this point right now, it's probably just light to moderate rain. However, I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to come down a lot harder over the next couple minutes as we make that southern turn onto 17, as there's a pretty heavy cell setting up just to the south of us. But so far on the drive out here, we took the 51 and then went on the 101. We were in kind of a lull, so most of the rain at this point had been kind of light to moderate, but we know in other spots that has not been the case with water rescues and very heavy rain. And again, over the next 5 to 10 minutes, I have a feeling our situation will be turning much different here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I just heard a huge clap of thunder. There are lightning flashes there in the background as we have another thunderstorm with some pretty heavy downpours moving in directly from our south. So it's kind of interesting. You can see on the screen, we've got almost sunshine trying to peek out as you look in one direction, but as we look down to the south, which is on the left side of your screen there, that's where those darker clouds are moving through. So we'll keep you posted here from the storm commander and let you know what we find. But we will now send it back to Jamie.
Yes, interesting to see the sky kind of split there with the brightness and then the darkness as the storm moves in. Amy Cutler, she is live for us at a rescue near 13th Street and Hatcher. What is happening here, Amy?
Jamie, really in the last couple of minutes, that rain has really picked up. And behind us, you can see Hatcher right at 11th Street is actually closed right now. You can see if you look all the way down, there's that white car. I'm told by Phoenix police on scene that a driver was trying to make his way through the wash, stalled out. Fortunately, that driver was able to make it out of the vehicle, but the vehicle is stuck right there in the road. But you can see the road is really covered in water at this point, so Phoenix police do not want any drivers to try to make the same mistake and cross through this area of Hatcher. And so they have posted up here trying to keep people away from the area. But I can tell you, just the area, the sides of the road here, the water has really pooled. It is several feet deep here. Officers on scene telling me that there's a wash back there, that it's really filled up, and that's what's caused this. But just a total mess out here. If we can just go down to 11th Street, you can see it's not just Hatcher that's covered in water, but 11th Street here as well has got some ponding on both sides of the road, a real concern here. Just talking to some neighbors around here, they were saying they really haven't seen anything like this in a very long time, not something that they're used to. So, they weren't really prepared for it. And so, everyone's trying to take it slow. They've got their lights on. They've got their windshield wipers going. They're trying to take all of this in stride, but just a real mess. And, just driving around, this is really the worst that we've seen it in terms of the rain coming down and the water pooling on the sides of the road. But Phoenix PD urging people to not go through washes like this, to not try to navigate through moving water like this. Obviously, this car behind us is a clear example of why that is not safe to do. But we're going to continue to monitor conditions out here, and we'll keep you posted on what we find. For now, we're live in Phoenix. Amy Cutler, Arizona's Family.
Amy, thank you. When in doubt, don't, as they say, right? So make sure to download our free AZ Family News app. You can get notifications about these storms as they roll through your neighborhood. The app can track your phone and give you the very latest weather information wherever you are. Plus, I love the live radar on our First Alert weather app. More weather coverage after the break.
Next, E.T.
E.T., welcome back to the set of Tracker.
Only we're in Vancouver with Justin Hartley. Then,
I'm Doug Savant, and this is my E.T. then and now.
Next, E.T.
The spotlight is bright for Arizona's high school heroes.
This is your game of the week.
Tonight at 7, Sal Point battles ALA Queen Creek. Live, watch the AIA Boys football game of the week. Only on Arizona's Family Sports.
Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis